Oil prices have been down, and on April 20th, they fell all the way past zero to settle at minus $37 a barrel. This has triggered off widespread fears of a recession, which is coming faster than we thought. Why are we not celebrating a price fall in oil? This is a special series of Money with Monika, in which I will decode policy and events as they happen related to the coronavirus. I'll of course be taking your questions. So what happened? Why did the price of oil fall? The drama unfolded in one part of the market, in one kind of oil. What kind of market? It is the futures market. What kind of oil? American crude oil. Remember, India uses Brent and not this kind of oil, so we were not that affected by that price falling below zero. But what is this futures market? A futures market is a market where today you can write a contract for a small price called a margin, which assures you a certain price and a certain quantity somewhere into the future. For example, if you're a refinery and say you wanted 1 barrel of oil next month, you can buy a contract today for a certain price. Next month, you will definitely get that barrel of oil. So that's the futures market. Now on April 21st was the settlement date. The settlement date is the date at which that contract expires, and the person who had bought the contract will either take the delivery of oil or they roll that contract forward for the next month. So now we are on April 20th. The contracts are expiring tomorrow, and the person who has to take a delivery has a problem. Now why he has a problem? Now 2 more actors enter the stage. One is coronavirus and the second is geopolitics. Now coronavirus has caused the global fuel demand, the oil demand, to drop by more than 30%. So there is more oil, the oil fields are pumping out, so there is more oil. Supply rises, demand is not there, price should fall. We are okay with that till now. But the oil producing nations can cut supply to keep the prices higher than they are today. Who are these? Large countries like Russia, Saudi Arabia, and America, the 3 largest oil producers. Geopolitics and the equations between these 3 stopped any negotiations on cutting production, especially between OPEC plus, which is Russia, plus OPEC. It is of course difficult for both Saudi Arabia and Russia to cut production because their economies are based on oil export. And for the US, it's really about energy security and of course politics. So production is not cut by the amount that would have caused prices to stabilize. There's a glut of oil in the market, and the world is running out of storage capacities. It seems almost 60% of the bunkers and the storage hills are full of oil. And at the current rate, it would just take a few more months to fill it to capacity. So there's a glut of oil, there is a lockdown in the US, and your contract is expiring tomorrow, where your delivery is going to be in Cushing, Oklahoma, which is landlocked. Ship tankers cannot reach it. The road transport is difficult. The cost of that delivery of oil is higher than what you're willing to pay somebody to take that oil off your hands. This is precisely what happened, where the sellers of that oil found it more economical to pay somebody almost $40 a barrel rather than take the delivery the next day. That is the story of the fall in the price of oil below zero on April 20th. That's all very well you're saying. But what about me? I do hear that prices of Brent are down to $20 a barrel. And we do remember the time when the prices were up at $100 a barrel. Theoretically, you're right. Yes, prices should drop. But then reality and theory are always 2 different things. The price that we pay for a liter of petrol or a liter of diesel is more than half made up of taxes, excise plus VAT. Remember that petrol is not part of the GST yet. The government moves the excise taxes up when oil prices fall, typically to shore up on their finances, to build reserves. This is exactly what it has done this time. And this is a particularly bad time for government finances because there's a pandemic on, you have healthcare costs, there's a demand for a 10 trillion rupee fiscal stimulus, which means we want the government to take care of salaries, of the food for poor people, for businesses, for all kinds of support to the industry. Where does this money come from? An easy way for the government is to simply hike the excise so that the retail price of petrol and diesel stays where it is, and the government takes that extra money to build that cushion. Is it fair? Well, there is a pandemic on, and I think the government is doing what it takes to keep our heads above water. So if we are still buying petrol for our cars, which I don't think we are, we should be okay with this. I will be taking your questions. So please do write into me at moneywithmonika@livemint.com. Till next time, stay healthy and stay wealthy.